What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we are discussing the epilogue to Season of the Lost, the long-awaited Exorcism of Savathun, and its tie-in to the Witch Queen, along with potential for a new live event as a transition between Season of the Lost and Witch Queen. We'll be taking a look at the events that have taken place so far this season, along with lore entries and some data mined audio logs to break down what Guardians can expect out of the season finale for Season of the Lost, and when to expect for this to happen. Before we begin, if you enjoy the video, be sure to help support the channel below by smashing the like button along with the subscribe button if this is your first time to the channel. Both are greatly appreciated. Now, at the time of this video, we are just over 7 weeks away from the release of the Witch Queen DLC, which has been making many Guardians, like myself, riddled with anxiety over the wait, but with such a long season, Bungie has had to spread its content out. The 30th anniversary has certainly helped, but with no Crimson Days in the future, Guardians will be back to an idle state until the wait for this eclipse is over and the Exorcism of Savathun can begin. And thanks to the data mined audio logs that I recently shared on the channel, we know that Savathun escapes her exorcism through means of a counter spell that transposes her body into another hive rune at an unknown location, yet leaves her worm behind, which is now in the keep of Mara Sov. The audio logs confirm that Osiris is safely returned in this exchange, and that Saint 14 returns him to the tower. But what is not fully explained in this audio is what occurred during the exorcism itself, which is where I anticipate we will have an initial new cutscene launched at Weekly Reset that leads Guardians into a mission through the Helm that has Guardians fighting off Xivu Arath's forces while Mara performs the exorcism, releasing Savathun from her cocoon and freeing her worm, which will likely have its own cutscene, which then leads into the final boss battle of the season, pitting Guardians against Savathun's worm, which will be one of the 3 remaining worms in existence. There's Ir, the Keeper of Order, Ur, the Ever Hunger, or Yul, the Honest Worm. We recently saw a leaked photo revealing the worm hovering over top of the Dreaming City during the exorcism. It's likely here that Xivu Arath's forces will be fought off, so Guardians will just be pitted up against this worm god. It's believed that Ir is the strongest of the worm gods, so I find that it's unlikely that Savathun would have had this one under her control, but I do feel that it would be Ur, the Ever Hunger, that will be revealed as Savathun's worm, as it would have been feeding off of the curse of the Dreaming City this whole time, as it has a never-ending hunger. And Guardians face off against this enormous beast, and then have to subdue it ultimately for Mara to capture it. After these events, Guardians will be interacting with Ikora at the tower, in what will likely be divided out into a separate week. This second week being the week I believe Guardians can expect a live seasonal event, which will be a galaxy-wide manhunt for Savathun, led by Ikora, similar to what Guardians experienced before the release of the House of Wolves DLC in Destiny 1. Ikora will send Guardians out across the known destination to find clues and evidence of Savathun's escape, which will be what leads us into the Witch Queen, where we now have seen 2 separate trailers portraying Guardians investigating locations both on Mars and Dreaming City, with maps and footage portraying both Mars and Dreaming City. Guardians won't be done with the forces of Xivu Arath along with this live event though. We know that she's hellbent on locating her sister with her alliance to the Black Fleet, and we can only expect that we will continue to have to fight off her forces during her hunt for Savathun along with our own hunt for Savathun. If any interaction with Xivu Arath does occur, it's likely to be through a cutscene, and I would only expect that she will ultimately escape in the end to get back to the Black Fleet to ultimately try to find a way to bring Savathun down, because their ultimate goal is to bring unity to the Hive, and Savathun, like Nokris, has brought a lot of dysfunction and separation to the Hive because of Savathun's wielding or desire to wield the light as the ultimate power. As far as what can be determined with Savathun after the events of the exorcism, we can only assume that she will transpose herself into her father's rune, the Osmium King, father to Oryx, Savathun, and Xivu Arath, but assassinated and betrayed by Teox, his next in command. This is depicted in the Book of Sorrow lore book from the Taken King. We know that Teox made an arrangement with the helium drinkers to assassinate the king. With helium being the main resource on Mars, it's likely that the remains of the Osmium King would be here, where Savathun will go, and where she will create her own throne world using the shard of the Traveler that she was able to acquire from Prince Uldren. This way she can use it to wield the light herself and resurrect her own Hive forces that Guardians will face up against on February 22nd. I would expect that the end of the season would follow very closely to that of the previous seasons, with the final 2 to 3 weeks revealing the epilogue of the season and its transition into the new DLC. So as far as when you can expect to see this botched exorcism and the events that follow, I expect to see this beginning at the weekly reset on February 8th, giving Guardians 2 weeks to complete the final epilogue and participate in the live event before the Witch Queen releases on February 22nd. It's important to keep in mind that as we draw closer to the release of the Witch Queen, Bungie will surely release Vidocs, different TWABs focusing towards the events of Witch Queen and what we can expect out of the DLC itself. So be sure to stay tuned to the channel for all of those updates and news as it comes out. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to hit the like button below along with the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about what is going to happen with the epilogue for this season. Until next time though, this has been Profane wishing you some happy hunting.